Don, how did you think the team not approached it, but really handled this game early? It looked kind of rough out there maybe in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. They're a team that scrambles and scraps, and I try to muck it up a little bit, and they accomplished that. But our team just continued to try to fight through whatever it is that we were trying to fight through, and try to play on both sides of the basketball and be disciplined. But they're impromptu, so you have to go with it, and sometimes that's not how we want to defend certain things. So if they forced us to communicate and get through screens or switch and made us play fast, made us play a little bit of ugly, and then at some point just our talent just took over.
Getting Tahina back on the floor, obviously you came out and hit those 2 quick threes. Just, how much of a difference did you feel like that made early on just to have her presence back out there?
Yeah, it makes a big difference. I mean, for someone like Powell, who is always calm, cool, collected, what her capabilities are. That you got to guard her. You don't guard her, she doesn't take bad shots. So it's great to have that on the floor, and great to get our starting 5 back together, just playing at a cohesive unit.
Yeah, Coach, Raven had 5 steals again today. Just what growth have you seen from her on the defensive side of the ball, and just how formidable does that make her as a point guard if she's able to defend the way she's been defending, especially over the last 4 games?
I mean, I think Ravens has grown up. I mean, she's grown and matured to the point where she knows where she can take some chances. But she's always been one to put heat on the other team's point guard, picking them up full court. And not just, obviously she got steals today, but just the amount of pressure she applies. She played 25 minutes. She usually plays probably over 30, depending on what type of game it is. Just the pressure. They have to think about her pressure other than running their team. So I thought she did a great job with disrupting while not gambling as much.
Don, how do you think your defense has come along the last few games? I know after Notre Dame and Maryland, maybe you thought that they'd given up too many points. How has that evolved these couple of weeks?
I think we're better. I think we communicate a lot earlier when we have ball screen action in particular. I do see in this particular game, I did see us get beat off the dribble and not respond well to it. So it gives us something else to just kind of keep harping on our players about, when you get beat, you have to do something. You're either going to have to box out whoever helped you, or if there's a helper situation, you got to go find the helper's defender. And we're not there yet, but it's a hard game to gauge. It's a hard game to gauge because a lot of what they were doing is 5 out, and the movement of their players made it really hard for us to see it out there on the floor.
Sort of sticking with that, but big picture now, you finish this 4-game homestand. You got almost a week till you play again. Where is this team right now versus when they got back from Paris?
I think we're getting just a little bit better practicing. I think they're listening a little bit more, and I think they're locked into each other a lot more. So I think they're closer. It's a closer unit. And I do think they're holding each other accountable. There are things that are being said in practice that if you're not doing the right things, you'll hear them self-correct, which is a good thing.
Don, Malaysia, not necessarily struggled in the first half, but just some of those plays weren't going, shots weren't going. How do you think she responded? Because the fourth quarter looked like she really kind of took over.
Well, I don't think she looked as engaged in the first half, and I don't know if that's Thanksgiving dinners. I don't know if that's just to score. Like, she's not challenged in that way, but I thought she did a really good job in the second half, just pushing tempo, making it easy for some of our bigs to score. She scored a few times, so we want to put her in more situations where she has the ball in her hands from a point guard position. From a big picture standpoint, like we want to see her how she operates with the ball in her hands and not have to get it on the wing, or sometimes we're going to have to relieve Powell and Raven, and we want to see what that looks like.
With Pow and Raven playing together, I mean, last year you had a lot of those, ran that lineup with her and Kiera. How similar are the two of them to kind of that dynamic, and what is working so well with having them both out there at the same time?
One is Raven's looking to score a lot more than she was last year and distribute. Powell is a scorer. Powell can score. Powell is just under control, calm, cool, and it's comforting to know that. I mean, she's a senior as well, so nothing beats that experience. So it's a little bit different in that I don't think Kiera adjusted as quickly because she was really trying not to mess things up rather than give us a little bit of Georgia Tech and scoring and doing all those other things. So Powell has different ingredients to work with. Like, she's the one that can see all of that. Like, Kiera didn't want to mess it up. Powell's like, I could be the glue to kind of hold it together. And they're young, so they're more impressionable and all of that. Oh, thank you.